Okay. Hello and welcome to Crohn's and Colitis Young Adult Network, CCYAN. For those who are not familiar with CCYAN, it's a platform to provide incredible support to young adults who are living with IBD by providing resources, fellowship program, and space for young adults who want to enhancing their IBD advocacy. CCYAN run by a group of young adults from many countries who wish to do great things for young IBD warriors. Welcome. I'm Sara, host and also one of the speakers for this section. I'm one of the CCYAN fellow for the year 2021. I'm having Crohn's since 2012. In today's section, we're going to discuss about the challenges faced by Malaysian young adults who are living with IBD in their social relationship, which included their family, friends, and their personal, and the most important challenges in their working life. We choose to cover these three challenges because we find out in recent time so many IBD patients having troubles to manage their social relationship and working life. We encountered this issue not only in Malaysia, but also in many other Asian countries. Yes, IBD is not something in common in Malaysia. It's a rare disease and the awareness about the IBD still very low. The main purpose of this section is to addressing the challenges faced by young IBD and how do they manage it, and also how to understand their expectation and improvement that can be done in future. We're going to listen all these from the patient themselves. I'm going to introduce our wonderful and great special guests, Tan Eileen and Solachi. Tan Eileen, who is 28 years old, she's practicing as a medical doctor and she having Crohn's since 2012. The next speaker will be Solachi. She's 29 years old, working as an associate for support team. She was diagnosed with Crohn's recently in 2019. I'm very personally grateful for both of them who actually agreed to allocate their time for this discussion. And welcome, we are privileged and excited to having both of you here. Without any further ado, I would like to welcome Eileen and Solachi. Eileen?
Yep. Hi, everyone. My name is Eileen. I just want to introduce myself a little bit. I'm 28 years old. I'm currently working as a doctor in the hospital. I was diagnosed when I was 18 years old. I was diagnosed with Crohn's disease when I was still in college. I started having like terrible, horrible abdominal pain, diarrhea, and then I was feeling tired all the time. I was generally unwell. So my parents took me to different doctors. But then I think being in Malaysia, 10 years back, the disease is still not as common as it is now. Even now, it's still not as common. So it took them a year to finally make the diagnosis. I was brought to different doctors. I did an upper scope, and they made a conclusion that it was actually GERD, gastroesophageal reflux disease, for which I was given medications. But even after the scope, I knew something was wrong. I knew something was just not right, but I just couldn't put a finger to it. I proceeded to see a few other doctors, and approximately a year later, I experienced severe pain over my right lower abdomen. That's when my dad brought me to the doctor, and that's the same night itself, they did an appendicectomy. They concluded that it was appendicitis. I was pushed into the operating theater and underwent an appendicectomy. After the appendicectomy, that's when I started experiencing excruciating pain. I couldn't sleep every night. I was constantly on painkillers. I would cry. I was in a lot of pain. That's when the doctor decided that, it's time to do a CT scan. It's time to proceed with a colonoscopy. And that's when the diagnosis was made. Yeah, so currently I'm taking infliximab. I've been on infliximab for the past 10 years. And it is a miracle drug for me. It has changed my life so much. I was previously, when I was diagnosed, I was bedbound. I had to rush to the toilet every few hours. I couldn't eat anything. I was losing so much weight. I was losing 20 kilos. And with infliximab, it was really a life saving drug for me. And I'm still on it and it's still working. So I'm extremely grateful for that. Yeah. So so far, complications wise, I have stricture because mine is at the right side of the tummy, is at the terminal ileum. So I have strictures. Once a while, I still feel unwell. I feel very bloated. I get indigestion all the time. And sometimes I have pain. But I think all these are manageable. And I've lived with it for the past 10 years.
Wow, that was incredible, Eileen. But okay, I want to ask you, okay, how long the duration you took from your first symptom to your really they diagnose you have Crohn's? How long it will be, the duration?
Oh, if want to count for my first symptoms, I think it would be 1.5 years.
1.5.
Because for the first half year, a few months now. For the first few months, I would say around 4 to 5 months. It was very vague symptoms. You know you have tummy ache, but you just cannot pinpoint where was it. You know you feel unwell, you feel fatigued, you feel tired, but it's just difficult to go to the doctor and say, hi, I have on and off tummy pain. I'm not too sure where, and I think I am feeling very tired. They just can't diagnose you with that. And I actually went to the first doctor that I went to diagnosed me with a gastritis. Some even asked me, hey, you are currently in college. Are you facing a lot of difficulties like stress? That's why you are getting gastritis. But I knew something wasn't right. I just knew something wasn't right.
But you never done any surgery, right, in that time, even until now?
Only an appendicectomy, and that was because of other than that, no, I've never done any surgery. And I'm grateful for that.
Actually you are very lucky because you are done none of the surgeries in your bodies, but something
because
I agree with you. That's the one thing that I agree with you, because in back then, in the I think 2012, before that, that's the time when I was officially diagnosed in 2012. Okay, Crohn's is not something common in Malaysia. Even some of the doctors, they've not heard about the Crohn's at all. You know that's a real situation that really happened. I have my first symptom on 2008, and they officially diagnosed me in mid of 2012. So it's 4.5 years, So I went through 6 surgery in that time, and nothing has been happened. So the doctors are unable to find out what's the cause for this pain, But but I have a fistula at that time, so they managed to figure out, okay, you have a fistula, but they didn't mention or didn't know that the fistula is actually one of the symptoms for your Crohn's. Okay, so that's why this really took me about 4.5 years. I go for the removal of the fistular tracts, first surgery, then from single tract become a multiple tract. So they remove it and become a more and worsen. So up to the 6th surgery, then they put me under. They do the surgery for me to put me under the stoma. And in 2012, actually, beginning of 2012, then it's really, the journey is very hard for me at that time. So I really understood your situation, because you and me in the same era, 2012. So the information that we have is not enough at all. Right?
Then you did not have tummy pain, is it?
I don't have any tummy pain, but the only problem is I lost a lot of weight, and my body becomes so thin. I'm only from 73 to 48 kilo in just few months.
Yeah, I understand.
So like I have lost a lot of energies. Like my friends, they notice that, hey, something wrong with you, But I'm so worried that my fistula is only in the anal part, so my Crohn's is only there. when they diagnosed it, they told me that it's only you're in the anal part. So that's only the part where it's really affected. So I have no abdominal pain, but I do have a pus discharge and also the blood discharge as well. So it's very, very painful. And, I just lay down, most of the time. So that's a very hard time. So even for me, I'm not from a medical background. So I'm accountant. So it's completely out of my knowledge, to find out these problems, Okay, how about you, Salachi? Let's talk about it.
I'm Salachi, 29 years old, and I have Crohn's. I had tummy pain, the usual symptoms, and I was losing weight. But most people said that gastric ulcer. Some said maybe I had a disorder of wanting to lose weight. So I think it was a whole lot of struggle. I think it took me 1.5 years to get a proper diagnosis. I was even said that I got TB. I've done colonoscopy, endoscopy, kidney biopsy, so much countless medical procedures. And then I went to meet another doctor, and then she suggested it might be Crohn's, and then we did laparoscopy to get a biopsy. Okay. So, and then they said, yeah, it's pointing towards Crohn's. So we started on infliximab. But I was doing well for about a few months, and then I got worse some more. So I think my lowest weight was 35.
Oh, wow.
And then, and then I had this, I was in and out hospital. I think my second home was the hospital. I was like in, out. I know most of them in the hospital. And then I think it got worse. And then we did MRI, CT scan, and they said, yeah, it's a total blockage. We cannot do anything because I keep vomiting. I couldn't keep any of my food. And then I had a surgery 10 months ago, a resection, a bowel resection. And now I guess I'm in remission, and I'm on Entyvio and Imuran as a maintenance drug.
Wow, that's great. But you only did one surgery, right?
I had a lepro, and then this resection was an open surgery. Okay. And then I had a pus drainage that was also given on minor surgery, but also considered surgery.
Okay, but do they suggest you to put you under stoma or anything? No, right?
My doctor said if I have another resection, then it's probably stoma.
We hope no. Okay, I wish.
Yeah.
Okay. Because having a stoma is not an easy life. Managing is not really easy, especially in your working environment, in the social. It's very, very hard, tell you. So because I'm personally having stoma, so I'm having this trouble for many years. But now I managed to cover it. Right. So thanks for your introduction. And okay, we're going further. We go for our first challenges. Okay, as I mentioned before, we get 3 challenges. We're going to discuss 3 main challenges: your social, your personal relationship, and your working environment. Okay, so we go for the first one, which is social. Okay, I really wish to know how do you think the society, the Malaysian society, really look at you as a Crohn's patient? Eileen.
So I think in Malaysia, a lot of effort is still needed to actually raise the awareness of IBD. I mean, if you are not in a medical background, or if you are not, let's say you're not a doctor, you don't have family members with IBD, I don't think Malaysians would have ever heard of the word IBD, and they will not know as well. It's not like in the Western countries where, it's so common that people just know what is IBD. So a lot of awareness is still a lot of effort is still needed to raise the awareness. And for me, I feel when I tell people about my disease, I personally don't think they look at me differently. But I am currently in remission. So probably they will think that, hey, you actually do not look that unwell. You actually look quite good.
Yeah.
If you don't say, I probably wouldn't know that you are actually, you actually have a disease. But yeah, these were the things that people told me before. And yeah, that's generally how I feel.
I have the same issue actually, because when I in the social, when I was in the public, or I went for my relative wedding or function or anything, they look at me, they say, "You're doing very fine. You look great. You have no problem at all. So why you want to pretend that like you have a disease?" So I feel like I really have the disease, and I having the pain inside my body, which is you cannot see. They really the public actually cannot accept that I do have a disease. I have a few situation when I was in study in Malaysia uni, and I remember that I got an approval letter from the management. They said, okay, you can. I just done my surgery that time, and I back from surgery. Then they give me an approval letter for me to park my car in a special place. Okay, and I parked my car there. The second day, the other management come down and they said, how come you can park here? I said, I have a approval letter. I'm having a problem, so I have a pain, so I cannot walk too far. They said, you really cannot park here because you look very fine. You see, so this is how people look at it. But that's in 2013. But now it's still like same, same. It doesn't change so much actually, because when I spoke to the other patients, they facing the same problem. Okay, so some people when look at me, they say like, okay, why you so thin? Why you like so sick? When you look at my body weight, when they skin my appearance, like you are so skin. So they look at me in the pity, like, wow, you really have disease. You really have to be very careful. So this kind of mercy things, I feel like are uncomfortable for me. So I can see two kind of people here. One is like they didn't accept you have a disease. One, they accept you have disease, but they overlook in you. They're very deep care of you. That's both of these like really unacceptable for me. That's what I feel this social, especially in Malaysia. But you are right. Even in Western country, yes, it's something a very common disease. Okay, for Malaysian we call it's a rich people disease, because it's very rare here and very expensive disease actually. So and when I spoke to them, yes, but in Western they have the ideology that okay, you have diseases, and the awareness of the disease is also like it's doing well there. But in Malaysia or in other Asian countries, they never look at you like that. Especially if you talk to the somebody from patient from India, that's more pity on them, because they thought, the society thought, if you have Crohn's, means that's your karma actually. You pass your karma, so you have to face it. So they like disencourage you and demotivate you up to that stage. The people Asian like they didn't really understand the IBD actually. So that's and one more thing that which is correct is like the evidence also is not there. I agree with you.
So you see, for me, it's a little bit different because I work in a hospital. Most of my friends are actually in the healthcare system.
All right.
So they are doctors. They more or less have heard of this disease. Okay. They know about IBD. So of course, when you tell them, you will see, oh, that is surprising. The kind of look from them.
Yeah.
Because probably they have never even managed. They have never managed an IBD patient, or have never seen one as a doctor. Because we do not see all these patients in a normal hospital. We usually see them in places with gastroenterologists. So, but for me, like I said, how people told me, like, hey, you do not look unwell, you look quite good, you actually look great. So, but they do not see like a lot of things behind the scene.
Yeah.
They do not see that as a young, female who is active, who wants to lead a normal life, they do not see that I, on a daily basis, am battling with this disease. I have to regularly go for colonoscopies. I go into daycare every 6 to 8 weeks for an IV infusion. And I'm going to do this for the rest of my life, and I'm only 28. They say you will get used to it. No, the truth is you will never get used to the pain. But no doubt infliximab has given me a quality of life. But you see, the trouble of going for the medication every 6 to 8 weeks, and for me, dealing with insurance, making sure I don't miss my dose, or I have to start the induction phase again. I have to navigate all this, and people don't see all these things. So all they think is just, hey, she's well, she's not having a flare, she's great, that's all. Well, I think about this disease every hour of my life, because a lot of small decisions that I make will affect how I feel for the whole day. Whether I drink this cup of coffee, or whether I take more durian, or whether I eat cheese, all these things affect the whole day, affect how you feel for the whole day. So yeah, that's how I feel about the awareness of IBD in Malaysia.
All right. How about you, Solache? Because you are very recently diagnosed. So you are very junior for this disease. So you must facing a lot of issues now because you're in
I guess when I was really thin and I was missing a lot of work, a lot of people like, wow, it's so nice to be you. You don't need to come to work. I was like, I don't even want this to anyone, or this happen to anyone. Like this, like worst thing can happen, because it's a lot of trouble. It's not easy. And then some people like, wow, you eat how much so you are not putting on weight. I was like, I want my weight back. It was very, very difficult for people to understand and come to terms that I have an issue. But now, since I'm in remission, I try to say that I'm okay. I can do it, even though I still go to hospital every 8 weeks, but I don't do it on during my working hours. So people don't really talk about it.
Okay.
To me now.
But do you think that the awareness in public especially is good, or you think a lot of improvement need to be made for the social public awareness?
I think people need to learn more, because this is an invisible disease and not many people talk about it. So I think this disease is like rare. People don't know about it. So I think we really need the awareness.
Yeah, I agree with you actually. We really need a lot of awareness. We try to create as much as can, but because of few things we talk about Malaysia, the cultures here and also the religions and many other factors, it has been, because that's the thing that stopped the awareness working. Okay, seriously, if you look at some cultures, they're really shy to talk about the disease. They feel like this is a disgusting disease, so we should not talk about it. Okay, so this is what the things that the awareness has been stopped, and very hard to implement the awareness. But some of them, they really know, but they don't want to talk about it. Many patients, even patients, don't want to talk about it because they feel very shy to talk about it, especially in outside of the Klang Valley, especially in KL and Selangor. It's very hard, very hard to find people that they really want to talk about the IBD. So I really, yes, Eileen, you want to say, Eileen, you want to say something?
No.
Okay, so but I agree with you. The improvement of the awareness should be increased, and the awareness. So, do you have any opinion what we can done to improve this awareness?
For me, first of all, us as the patient has to talk about it. Like, as for example, for me, I tell my colleagues, I tell my family, I tell my friends, what is it? why did I get it, and what am I doing, what am I going through. I try to explain to them so that maybe when they talk to their friends, it gets spread, So I think that's the most important step, in my opinion.
All right. Eileen, how about you? Because you are in medical, so you must see many patients as well. So you must have some ideas, because I believe you're not only working on the IBD things, but you also work on do charity awareness about the other diseases as well. So you must have some ideas from your side, which is we think we can implement in Malaysia.
So for me, I think social media,
Okay.
the social media can actually do make changes. I think setting up social media platforms like Instagram page, Facebook page to raise the awareness of IBD, because now young people and actually even older people use Facebook, Instagram. So I think setting up these social media platforms to explain regarding the disease can actually is actually quite important. And I think in these social media platforms, I think you get people like us, sharing real stories, sharing their testimonies about their IBD journey. It's also one of the ways. Having support group, organizing campaigns, activities, for example, like a walkathon. I see many other countries actually do that.
True.
And so that's generally how I feel we can improve the awareness. And you just keep sharing about your experience. People like to listen to real stories.
Sure.
Yeah.
I didn't, because you know why? Because from what I see, since 2012, the time I was officially diagnosed with the Crohn's, I was alone. I didn't know anything about the Crohn's, so I can't refer to anyone, no societies, no WhatsApp.
Yeah.
So not many doctors talk about it, So they sent me from Malacca to the Selangor, so to meet one of the gastro. Then she explained to me all these kind of disease. Oh yes, this is problem. All this. Then only I know. Okay, this is really a disease. The only source that I have at that time is internet. But that time we are very seldom used also. Okay, in 2012.
Yeah, correct.
It's not very well used. VF, but not much used. But now, after 10 years now, so what I see, like there are many people start to create the awareness using the social media, especially Instagram and also Facebook. So there are many groups has been created. But still, I feel like those who join the group actually is a patient itself. But so the public is still like, okay, this is nothing doing to me, so I don't want to care about IBD, So, but they do. Most of the patient is inside the group, but the public, like, they ignore it. They don't want to know. So we hope that the awareness will be created in Malaysia and other Asian countries as well, because I really feel like it's really important. All right. That's what I wish. I wish to see that improvement in next 5 years or 10 years. Okay. And maybe we have a society as well. And we hope the society will move more to do more create awareness on that. Okay. And even though we have a societies and we organize few of the activity like you said in the early stage, but the only thing is that the same people appear in each of the activities. So like they get the same information and they also get bored, So like it's nothing. The awareness is not separate to the other than this small group. But that's what we feel. So yes, I really agree with you all, and we hope that the awareness has been created. Many people will be benefited from it. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. We will move for the next challenges, which is relationship, which I feel like this is one of the really important to talk about. Okay, and let I start with myself. Okay, I was diagnosed in 2012, but before that, I have my symptom on 2008. Okay, in that 4.5 years, I went through so much of pains, surgeries, and I lost a lot of weight and faced a lot of problems, but my family keep supporting me in that time, and they will be with me. Okay, but that was in the short term. Okay, what I see in myself and other patient, when a patient itself has an IBD, the family is support them. Yes, they do, but in the short term. Okay, but in the long term, the family really unable to accept that the patient, the son or daughter has the Crohn's. Maybe in the early stage they think, okay, IBD can be cured, I can beat you. But in the long term, when the disease is like drag, it's uncurable. The parents, like some of the parents feel like they are frustrated, like what's going on with you? Why you're not cured? You have a life to go on. So this kind of stress has been put toward the patient, even myself as well. But now they do understand. But in the early stage, yes, they have this problem. So Eileen, because you are too long already in this disease, so you must face this problem as well.
I think generally my family members have been really, really supportive. Of course, during my first diagnosis, all my family members were very affected because I also, after the diagnosis, I took another year to actually really recover. It only happened like after infliximab. And my mom, she was extremely affected. She felt extremely bad. I remember she would look at me, she would cry because she see that I'm in pain. And because at that point of time when I was diagnosed, I was only an 18-year-old girl. In college, I was doing my A-levels. I was constantly in pain. I couldn't go to school. I lost 20 kilos. I would rush to the toilet. And I think my mom was really, really affected. Because for my disease, it took a while actually to reach the diagnosis. And I remember after going to several doctors and even after doing an upper scope, when they concluded that it was good, I remember still feeling unwell, but I think someone said, hey, maybe it's just psychologically you feel unwell, but actually you are okay. So yeah, but then when I eventually reached the diagnosis of Crohn's, I think they all felt bad. So that was my family. Yeah, up to now, my mom is still extremely concerned. My dad as well. Everyone is concerned. I had a recent flare, and now that I'm in a different state, I'm in Pahang, and my family members are all in KL. I remember when I had a flare a few months ago, they called me constantly, messaged me, asking me how am I doing. My mom would ask me, what am I eating today? So they are generally very, very concerned. I would say I have a very good family support. And without my family, without my parents, I really don't know where would I end up.
Oh, that was emotional. Yeah, that's true actually. My parents also went through the same problem. They're very concerned about me at that time, But in a long time, it took a long time for them to digest that I have this kind of disease, which is really uncurable. And I have took a lot of time to explain to them many, many times. For them to explain this kind of a disease is really uncurable, and you need to give a lot of time. Maybe in the lifetime, I have to face this IBD. It's really uncurable. So it took a really very hard time for me to convince my parents, my sisters, to make them, okay, I will be fine, don't worry. I actually demotivate them, but actually my parents, like, they're very emotionally affected. So it's my job to motivate them at the time. All right. So I understood your situation. How about you, Solachi?
I actually receive psychological issues too. Doctors say that, oh, probably you're having psychological issues. So my parents was like, maybe can it be psychological and stuff, my relatives, and then I think when I got diagnosed with Crohn's, they were all very sad about it, and I think they never heard of it before. for them, it's very new. So, and when it's going to be lifelong, it was very shocking for them. But I did my best. I told them that I'm going to be fine. I try not to involve them too much because they are emotional. So I try to go to my own hospital appointments and all. And then if I call my mom will be like, "You are at hospital appointments. Why you never tell me? I would have followed you." And I'd be like, "Ma, it's okay. I'm fine," kind of stuff. But I think I gave her the confidence that I'm going to be okay. So, but she has been a great support. All my hospital visits have been in hospital for a month or for 2. She always come every day, take care of me, tie my hair, all that kind of stuff. My mom was a very, very, very big support.
Wow. Because in myself, I lost my father when I was young. So my mother is my backbone support, backbone support for me. And when I was in Malacca that time, and she's the one who cared for me. She come to from Johor to Malacca every day. So she traveled there so to come and take care of me. Then she went back, so then come back the next day after the stage. But when I transferred to the KL, also the responsibility will go to my sister because my sister in my KL. So I have to stay with my sister. So she took care of me very well, very well. So like I'm very blessed with my family support, all this stuff. But when I spoke with the other patient outside there, I also find out that not all patients blessed with a good family support.
Yeah.
Some I got a case where the patient when the husband has been diagnosed with the Crohn's, the wife left, and when the family lot of problems around these the patients, and they have emotionally affected, and their disease become more worse and they become more sick. Okay, and then the case came to me when I heard about the story. Then I have to step in, and I spoke to them. I have to motivate them, but still it's not enough because family is a family. You outside people, you cannot do anything to motivate them. So I feel sad for them, but the same thing that the awareness is not there. The main reason because the awareness is not there, and maybe I can say patience, because this is a long-term disease, maybe lifelong. So you as a family member, you have to be very patient with the person who affected with the IBD, because sometimes they are fine, the next morning they are not fine, So maybe today morning they are fine, evening they have to admit in the hospital. So they have to really, in every time of this process. So I find out this is a really, really problem that faced by Malaysian people, especially in other Asian countries as well. I have one friend from India as well, and he has a problem with his sister. His sister cannot accept he has a disease. So he said, okay, you better go out of the house. Some patients from the Philippines also face the same problems, So I feel like this is a culture in Malaysia. So we have to do something, create the awareness. It's a very hard job, but I think we can done in the future. Okay.
Yeah, and also something I would like to mention, it's like there are challenges with family members. So there are days when you really feel under the weather, but you still gotta act tough. You gotta be normal because you don't want them to worry. You say you feel very unwell today. You don't have an appetite, but you know that it's your Crohn's. But when everyone sits down together during dinner time, you just cannot show that you're unwell, because then your parents would be very worried. They would be very concerned. So this is like one of my challenges of IBD with my family members. But even personal relationship. Are we moving on to the next topic? Or
Can. No, we can talk about the personal relationship because we can talk about it, no problem.
Okay.
Yeah, still have time.
Yeah. So for me, I try to not let IBD affect my personal relationships. Like I would go for my infusion every 6 to 8 weeks, depending on my symptoms. And it's always a very long wait. And I actually prefer, I'm not too sure about you guys, but I prefer doing it alone because I cannot have my loved ones waiting for me outside. I will feel extremely pressured. I'm not married, but I have a boyfriend, a partner. So he has been very supportive. But relationships are a challenge. So I remember when I was in university, I had a boyfriend who broke up with me using my disease. Yeah, so it was really difficult because I thought I had a very good relationship. So I started thinking maybe because I'm not healthy and they would think that I'm not perfect. You know, I will never be healthy. So so entering a relationship, I always have to be upfront from the start. You know, if you can't accept me, if you can't deal with this, you can't handle this, it's a deal breaker. You know, we just can't go on. So it's not an easy disease. The disease itself is not easy to handle. So you really need somebody to support you whenever you are feeling unwell. So that's generally what I feel regarding my personal relationships and my family.
Yes, that's true, really, Eileen, because I face the same problem as you at the beginning of when I was in the uni at time. I have to break up because of my disease. You know, then it's not easy to find someone who really understands your disease to be a partner.
Correct.
Yeah? And it's very challenging, not only for us, for them as well. So the best way is that we try to explain to them. If they really don't understand or they really can cope, okay, better you leave. No, it's easy because you don't pressure us, you don't pressure yourself. So the partner should be really understand about you. If not, then this will be disaster. You're right. But Solachi is different because she already married. So you can tell about yourself, Solachi.
Okay, I got married like 4 years ago, and I just got officially diagnosed like 2 years ago. So I think when the start of my disease, I had stomach pain. He was very concerned. But I think when it was dragging too long, I go to this hospital A, B, C, and a lot of different procedures. I think he was a bit agitated or something, resentment and stuff. But I think after he saw me suffering, he saw me I vomit, I go toilet, everything. He was there with me. He was with me in the pain. So I think as days goes by, he did his own research. He was willing to learn. He was trying everything. You know, every night he'll be like, maybe we should try this. Maybe we should go for a long walk. Maybe we should watch something funny. You know, you have to de-stress. We have to try eating this. He was there. Maybe we have to go to this hospital. He was with me in all my appointments. I think he talked to my doctor more than me.
You are
So,
that's very good. Very good.
Yeah. So I think he was very involved in me, and I think he was the happiest when I got in remission. You know, because I was always in pain. So, and I was always moody. I've screamed at him, all that stuff. But I think after I got in remission, he was the happiest. So I'm really, really blessed.
Yeah.
Will you have any opinion for people who are looking at us now? Do you want to recommend anything, any idea that you want to say to improve the relationship?
I guess people have to be open about it. There are some who just won't understand.
Yeah. Okay.
But you have to try your best because it's a relationship. Two people have to work for it. You don't in health and in sickness. Just because you are sick, you don't leave someone. You know, I would have done the same if my husband got it. So I think the commitment is very important. Know why you are in the relationship and talk about it.
Yes, you're right. It's talk about it. Everything is talk about it. If you not talk, the problem will solve. Okay, we move to the next challenges. Okay, so we're going to talk about the working environment and working life. These are also very important challenges in Malaysia. because I myself face a lot of problems in a working environment. During my time, I was in the audit departments, so I have a lot of issues. Okay, and even my management, they really cannot cope with my disease at all. Okay, and I still remember there's one day when I was in the client place, I'm doing the audit at the time. Afternoon after my lunch, I have to rush to bathroom over the 20 times, more than 20 times. And my colleagues like look at me like, you're really doing well, or you're like, making some issues here. So I have this kind of problem in the working place, So even when I spoke to my manager is very good at that time, my first manager, because he know about this disease. So he really take care of me very well. But my second manager was, he don't care about your disease at all. What I need is work. It's been done. That's one thing. Another part is that the facilities in the working environment for IBD patients also is like worse. This is what I feel. So I need to know about the other people's opinion about how they feel in their working environment, how your colleagues understand about your disease, how the management and the company staff come together to help you to solve this problem. Right. So we start with Sara first.
Okay. My biggest issue was I was frequently on MC and hospitalization leave. So my team couldn't rely on me.
Yeah.
Because I was always missing and stuff, and they don't know when I'll be back. So it was very hard for them to assign something to me. So the trustworthy part was gone, but I've already in the work for 5 years. So it's like gone in a year. It was very hard on me. But I guess my colleagues were very, very understanding. Sometimes I'll be too weak to even go to buy my food or my drink, but they have always give me my food, and they always make sure I'm okay. And some of them even send me to home. I was like, are you okay? Are you okay? Then I was like, I'm just feeling too weak. Okay, now mind, come with me. I send you home. Most of them are very supportive, and some even have visited me in my hospital admissions.
Oh.
So yeah, they were nice. I have the best colleague as well. They were all very understanding. And once I put on weight and I looked normal, they were very happy and they said, wow. And think now once I'm in remission, my team is like gaining more confidence on me. So I think things are getting better now, definitely. But that 1 year was a bit difficult for me because of my MCs and my sickness. Yeah.
Even I have the same problem because my management always asks me why you took a leave every 6 weeks or 8 weeks once. Sometimes I have to follow up. So I frequently take the MC as well. So up to one stage that my MCs all has been used. So
yeah, correct.
If you took an MC more, I will deduct your salary. So all these kind of stuff, I also face the same things, but I overcome it. But then after that, after more than 2 years, they understand, okay, this guy really have a problem in medical. So yeah, leave it with him. So how about you, Eileen?
So I work in a hospital. The challenges I face are really long working hours. I'm constantly on my feet, and it's stressful dealing with patients as well because it's a matter of life and death. And of course, being immunocompromised, the fear of getting infections, the fear of getting COVID, and unfortunately, I was also recently diagnosed with COVID-19, and I was admitted. There was a constant fear in my workplace because of the nature of my job. So I would say so far, my superior has been very understanding. So whenever I enter a new department, I will always inform my superior about my disease. So they, for example, my current superior, I told him about my disease, and I told him that I'm actually on immunosuppressed. I'm actually immunosuppressed. Hence, he did not put me to work as he did not put me to care for COVID-19 patients. But in a hospital, you will still it's difficult to avoid.
Yeah, the risk.
Yes, so that's how I was also diagnosed with COVID-19 recently. It was a difficult time. I was extremely scared because being immunocompromised, even though I have already received my vaccination, I've completed 2 doses, but I was still extremely scared. And looking at it yourself, seeing patients who actually succumb, you actually feel it, you know? You are actually in it and you feel it. Colleagues-wise, so far, I would say some are understanding, but it's also extremely difficult because we are understaffed. We have not enough people working. Everyone is tired. It's difficult to just tell your colleague, hey, I'm going to go on MC, so can you please take over my job? It's very difficult. Everyone is tired. So I think these are the challenges that I face as compared to someone who's working in a corporate. People can work from home, but for me, I can never work from home. If I'm not well, if I'm very unwell, I would take an MC. But if I feel I still can walk, I still can talk, I still can eat, I will still go to work. So these are my challenges.
Actually, we actually very thankful for you all because you are doctors, you are a lot of you are frontliner for us. So thank you so much for care for all of us. Okay. We understood because like us, we're working from home, but you are not like us. You have to face the patient face to face. Every day is challenging for you, and you even if you don't know who have the COVID, who don't have the COVID. So it's very challenging and stressful as you said. We really
and with your disease and with you being immunocompromised, that's really a fear.
Yeah, I really understood that. I hope you are safe and the vaccine actually will help you a lot. Okay. And how about you, Solachi? Do you think that stress really your job is very stressful, and how the stress is really affected your job actually?
I guess I have a lot of deadlines. So that makes me stressful because my boss sometimes say, I want this today, and I have already had some work to do and then had to do this, and then it's today, so I sometimes work late. But I think now during the COVID situation, we are now working from home, so I don't mind. I can take breaks and then I continue my work, but sometimes I work until 10 p.m. But I take breaks in between.
But you work from home, or you have to go to office?
Now I'm working from home.
Okay.
Due to the COVID situation. Previously, yes, I was in office. When I was in office, the most challenges is the deadline. Like we have to do this, and then or not, they will come and say, we have to go to the meeting, prepare this slide now.
Yeah.
So that kind of thing, like, no, stress kind of stuff. So I think that that made my situation worse when I wasn't in remission. So I was like, I don't know how to handle it. I think that was also one of the cause of my Crohn's.
Getting worse, right? Okay. Just in a very quick answer, I need your answer opinions. What do you think that things that can be done in working place to improve our situation, our stressful, to handle our stress, to handle our works, to handle the IBD? So what do you think that this management can be done to improve our life, quality of life?
I think they can be more understanding because since this is a new disease, not many people know about it. I mean, sorry, not new, but not many people are aware about it. So when there is someone, I think maybe I'm one of the rare ones that got in my office. So for them, it's new. So they don't really consider about you that you have an issue. Sometimes I need the toilet. Sometimes I need to vomit. So these things they don't consider. So I wish they learn about it. They give options. They are open-minded about things, about our disease, that what our needs are. Maybe placing ourselves nearer to the washroom, giving us some time to adjust, be understanding. And I think COVID has opened up the work from home options. So I think that's a very good possibilities to explore, to give an option to work from home, because now we are doing quite well with work from home option. So maybe that could be implemented as well.
Wow. Yeah, actually, you have a good point. Actually, work from home have a pro and cons, but for us, a lot of pro actually benefit for us. Actually, that's true. How about you, Eileen? Do you have anything to say? You want to recommend?
I honestly, I honestly don't think there is much for me in my workplace that can be done, because I have to see patients, I have to this and that. But I think for doctors who are also patients, who has a more severe disease, maybe an option can be given to them to transfer to a department that is not so stressful, a department that maybe involve more administrative work instead of clinical work. Yeah, I mean, that's all. But I think overall, there is really nothing much that can be done for a doctor who wants to practice and at the same time has Crohn's disease.
Okay.
You really have to face the challenges yourself and make adjustments.
Okay, I really understood that. I really hope that in future there's a lot of facilities has been come. Okay, maybe we can have some medical cards for our own self. You know, you have grown, so they can give us a priority to use the washroom and all this stuff. We try to work, but we still have a long way to go for that. Lot of process and foundation has been done for that. It's not easy. A few years ago, we tried to bring one washroom in one big shopping mall. So we requested them to have a special bathroom for ostomates, but the management agreed. Then because due to the lot of documentation stuff and some of the management didn't agree to that, so we have to drop the difference. So we have these kind of things that can improve in future. Okay, maybe the I think the last two more questions I really want to concern. What do you think that? What do you think about the Malaysian advocacy? Do you have? You think the Malaysian advocacy doing well, or what do you think the Malaysian advocacy have to be improved in future?
As far as I know, for now, Malaysia has Malaysia Crohn's Society, in which the WhatsApp group that we are all also in the IBD support group.
Yeah.
But I think there are not many activities, and it's not really known. Although I mean, the WhatsApp group serves as a platform for us to talk about our disease, to share and stuff like that. But I think more can be done. Like how I mentioned just now, like campaigns, having more support groups, even financial support groups for those who require biologics. I think it's a really big issue. It's a really big thing for those who really cannot afford biologics and are not given to be in a program where they can receive biologics. I think financial aids are extremely important. Yeah, I think that's what I think.
Yeah, I do. How about the Solachi? Do you have any opinions?
For me, I think the advocacy is still low. Many people are not willing to share. They'll be like, okay, I have this, so what? For me, I learned about Crohn's through a Facebook post.
Right.
So then only I started seeing the doctor, the post recommended. That was a Malaysian girl as well. So, and then I think that helped me a lot in finding a doctor who specializes in Crohn's. So and then I finally get my diagnosis and I'm in remission. So I think that's very important. The most important thing is people have to talk about it. Maybe there are so many people out there who are suffering, but they don't know what to do. Okay, maybe it's just stomach pain. Okay, maybe it's just gastric. Not many people go through it. So I think the most important thing is we have to talk about it, get a platform and share about what happened, testimonials, and all this will help.
All right, thank you, Solachi. Actually, just I want to add on what Eileen said. Actually, we do have the societies for the Crohn's. We do, but we try to organize few activities before, up to 2016, 17. I think that was our last activities. Then we have some complication for that. And we try to do back the activities, but because of the COVID, we are unable to move anything. But we want to arrange the webinar and so on. We hope that those in the boards come forward to do all this stuff. Okay, and I'm actually one of the board members also. I'm accept that, but the reality is that to gather the people, those people to come work together with you is very hard. Especially if you talk about the volunteer, it's not easy to get a volunteer. People don't want to. It's not. I can't comment on them, but the reality is that they're not willing to spend their time for do volunteer work actually. But not many of them. Not many. They still have some people, but still it's not enough. Even we try to bring many young people to take over the societies. It's not easy to. They don't want to take a responsibility and they don't want to run the society. It's not only our Crohn's, but if you look at the other society, we face the same problem. Except few, I know few of, I think like breast cancers or this society doing very well, but the others like not so good because especially our disease, because many people think this is a disgusting disease. So they don't want to talk about it, they don't want to involve about it, they want to be blind. So I don't know anything about IBD. I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to involve in any activities. So this is a mentalities of our even Malaysian or Asian people, I can say. So this thing we have to change. As you said, yes, education education and awareness is very important. To create that, we need a platform, and we need a very, very powerful people inside the platform to run all this stuff. I really wish they can do something better in future. All right. So okay, I think we have enough time, more than 1 hour actually. So this is a great opportunity to meet both of you. Okay, and Eileen and Solachi, do you have any closing remark? Any last closing remark?
Maybe I can just give some advice to those who are diagnosed with Crohn's or ulcerative colitis, especially those who are newly diagnosed. You see, you are diagnosed with a lifelong, it's a chronic illness. You can either feel sorry for yourself or you can try to find blessings and happiness in difficult days. So cheer up. It's not the end of the day. With a little discipline and with current medical technology advancement, you can still lead a normal life, and your disease doesn't define you. And you should listen also to the symptoms that happen to your body. Do not ignore them. Learn about the disease, educate yourself, read about it. With sleep well, eat well, exercise well, be patient. You will get better. You will reach there. You'll have your ups and downs. So just enjoy the good days and be patient.
Okay, thank you, Eileen. Solachi?
For all the IBD people out there, I would say seek help. It's not wrong. Go for different opinions, talk about it. And there's so many information out there for you to research on. So there's not an end. There's so much, science is doing so much. So we might have so many new findings later on. So just be positive. I know some days you might feel meh, but it's okay. Next day, cheer up and things will get better. Just believe it's not an end and go on.
Sure. Thank you so much for both of you. Actually, it's a very good remark, and I really appreciate that. Okay, and I believe that many other people will listen and benefited from what we shared today. All right. Okay, thank you for both of you. All right, and we from CCYAN really honored and appreciate your time and effort that you put for this discussion. So many information has been shared by both of you, and I believe many young adults in Malaysia and also in other Asian countries going to benefit from this conversation. A very special thanks to CCYAN board members, Snehadev and Rachel, and all other fellows for this support. For those who wish to know more about CCYAN, please check our website www.ccyNetwork.org. Okay, thank you, and we hope we will meet again in another section, another topics. All right, thank you so much.
Thank you.